Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Carlton People. Now, today I've got Shannon. Shannon, hello.
Hello.
How are we doing today?
Great. The weather's fantastic, so just brightens your mood, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's a hint of summer and freedom amongst us
Just
at
a
the
little bit.
moment, and I can feel it in the latest episodes of Carlton People when people jump on. There's just a little bit more positivity, generally speaking.
Yeah, that's true. Like, there's yesterday was a beautiful day as well, and got out in the park. So freedom is getting a little bit closer, which is good.
No, absolutely. Well, let's kick things off because this is all about you and your Carlton story. So, talk to me about how did you become a Carlton supporter and where did it all begin? Take me back to the very beginning.
So the very beginning. Well, I was actually born in New Zealand, so
Right.
my dad married a Kiwi, and my dad's been a member for 60 plus years, and he was in the Carlton cheer squad back in the 70s.
Wow.
So I was pretty much born into it. And yeah, no, we moved back to Australia in 1996. So just after my mum unfortunately passed away, my dad decided to bring me back to Australia. And I was actually talking to him this morning about it. And he goes, your very first game was at Princess Park in 96 against the Western Bulldogs.
Wow.
And then he took me to the MCG the week after against Melbourne for my very first MCG experience, and the rest is history, really. I've been going to, you take me to Princess Park, MCG, learn how to kick a football outside Princess Park when I was the age of 8. So yeah, it's been a pretty good experience, just having my dad being a member from way back and just being brought up in that Carlton environment. Lots of my family are all different sorts of members. So I've got North Melbourne there, and I've got Collingwood, and I'm a married an Essendon supporter. So Carlton's been pretty much front and centre for me since day one.
So you're a father-daughter priority selection to the Carlton fan fraternity.
I think so. It's actually a good way to put it. Never thought of it like that before. So yeah,
I
no,
like
we
that.
are.
So we've done a very good job of drafting fans for the future.
I've
Some
also
might question the players that we draft for the men's team anyway, but I think we've got the fans down pat.
I think so, and it's even extended on to my 3-month-old daughter Ava, who's also now a Carlton member. Day after she was born, my dad goes, "Here's a Carlton membership for her." So it's continued on.
Wow. Well, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
Ava is 3 months old, right?
She is, yes.
Ava is 3 months old. She's a Carlton supporter. Talk to me about the dynamic in the family. Are you both Carlton?
I am. My husband's not. He's an Essendon supporter. So there was much debate going through my pregnancy from his side of the family. But no, it's Carlton through and through.
You've done a great job. And really, you've just done what Dad did to you. He just made sure he got you in.
That's it. Get the claws in.
I look forward to doing an episode of Carlton People with Ava in 20 years.
Let's hope she's still following football then. I hope so. Fingers crossed. It's a good chance to get her involved with the women coming up, so that's good.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen with these men's side, but the women, on the other hand, they are up there. It's like they're another club. They're phenomenal. Talk to me about, I guess, your experience growing up watching footy, and then it seemed like within a matter of, 24 months, all of a sudden women's football is not just on the radar, it's just a part of us now.
That's right. Well, growing up in the 2000s was probably not the greatest time to be a Carlton supporter, to be fair, given the 2002 issue, and then it's extended on for the last however long. But no, it was I suppose seeing all the different players come through and just getting to go to the football and just understanding and learning the game for myself. Back when I was a teenager, football for women wasn't exactly front and center. But actually being a footballer myself, having played football for 10 plus years and played 100 games myself, it's actually fantastic to see women's football just kick off the way it has, and just inspirational for young girls like my daughter, for instance. If she wants to play football, then she can play football. It's a great organic thing that's happened, I suppose.
Yeah. Did you see it happening when you were playing? Did you envision a reality where it would get there?
Yeah, well, going back to like my coaches played football when they were young, and they played with Debbie Lee. So it's kind of like you could see it building, and the talk around all the football clubs was hopeful, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Like I played against Sarah and Jess Hosking when they played for Seaford. And like back then, it was like in the early 2013 onwards, you couldn't really see it, but only like 2016, 2017 when it really kicked off, you could hear it, and you just like it's going to happen. And I don't think anybody anticipated it to be as big as it has been in the last 3 years. And like just our girls, Carlton girls, like this year to have our season cut short was actually heartbreaking because they were building something great.
Yeah, 100%. Well, one thing I've appreciated about the AFLW, I missed year one completely because I wasn't living in the country, and you know, it's not that I couldn't access the games, but I just didn't have that, you know, that Melbourne buzz, that extra news around footy in general. Year two onwards, I watched because I mean they were good, and yeah, I think you're right. I think we've waited a long time for it. In a sense, I feel like I'm not sure if we waited too long, but it feels like once they did commit, they absolutely committed all the resources. It hasn't really been a half-assed job. Well, from my perspective anyway, maybe you feel different. Do you feel like there's been proper commitment to the AFLW?
Oh, 100%. The only disappointment is like with the VFL program, Richmond decided to pull the pin. It kind of just puts a dampener on the whole women's program, like from a VFL perspective right through. But hopefully they do change their mind because I know there's a lot of talent out there. And Sarah Dargan for Richmond now played at Pascoe Vale with me. So, like, it's good to see. And even Georgia Patricios for St Kilda played at Pascoe Vale. So they're coming through the ranks, and you can see it from when they're young. Like, even the under 12, like, there's going to be a big, big, big future. And I hope they continue to put the resources in the women's football program because it's going to be huge.
Yeah, I mean, if we're crystal balling in the next 3 to 5 years, you know, we've got the facility upgrade at Icon Park, which is obviously the home of AFLW. I mean, our women's team, I really feel like they were about to win the flag. I mean, you know, premiership windows come and go. You never know when you're going to get another chance, but you're right. I mean, you do get the feeling that we do have a pretty good group. I just feel like, you know, winning that flag, when the women win that flag, and I'm pretty confident they will, I feel like it just goes to a different level.
It will, and having won 2 premierships myself, like the feeling is unreal. Like it's something that you just can't predict. Like unless you're Darabin and win like 7 in a row or something. But no, it's going to be absolutely huge for the Carlton Football Club, especially if the women win a flag before the men do.
Yeah. No, it's a great time for the club. It really is. I want to know a little bit more about you on game day. You're in the cheer squad, so obviously with that comes, you know, some responsibility to really lead the voice. So what is game day, Shannon, like?
Game day, Shannon. Well, I'm one of 2 people that coordinate on the ground. So Rob Centurino is also part of that. He's the coordinator of it all. So game day for me is a little bit different. I help out bringing in all the stuff on game day and getting the list together for who goes out on the ground, making sure people are OH&F safety. It's just, yeah, but once you sit down after that banner goes up, it's game on. So I'm pretty much front and center. One of the loud ones, as most people in the cheer squad will attest to. But no, I completely, once the game starts, I'm a completely different person. And once that siren goes, I'm back to just don't talk to me if we haven't won, pretty much. But no, game day, banner day is huge. Like it starts really early in the morning. It's just like, okay, this is what we got to do today. The banner's got to go up this way, that way. Make sure everyone's in the right position. But no, some days banner can be very heavy, depending if it's raining. But lucky we have a material banner, so it's a lot easier than a lot of people would realise.
Yeah. Well, what are some of are there any standout? I mean, I'm sure you've coordinated so many games now, but any standout games for you over the course of your experience where like the energy in the crowd was just something else? I mean, I can only assume we're talking about, you know, round ones or finals, but any particular games that stand out for you?
I'm going to say every milestone Mark Murphy's ever had.
You have come to the right channel if you want to talk about Mark Murphy.
He is my favourite player. Probably his 300th last year when we had the I think it was round 1 last year actually. Was his 300th game against Richmond. So 2-1 really. Probably one of my favourite games because one of my friends, Natalie Gasper, you are familiar with her, got Murph to personally sign one of his 300 T-shirts for me. So that was probably one of the greatest games, apart from the result, obviously. But no, round 1 is probably one of the big ones because the roar of that crowd is just insane. And to miss it this year was absolutely heartbreaking. But we're going to have to get you out on the ground for a round 1. I'm going to hold you to that. You're coming out, and we're going to let you experience it for yourself because it's something else.
Okay, I'm down. I'm down. You can mark this down as my confirmation. I will be there round 1, 2021 if you have me.
Good. We'll have you for sure.
Yeah. I'm mindful of making this into a Mark Murphy chat, but I want to talk a little bit about Murph because I think he deserves it. For me, so I have an A4 card that he signed for me years ago obviously for my 18th birthday. Didn't know who I was, probably still doesn't know who I am. And then from that moment, it was like, yeah, he's my boy. And, I'm young, 17, turning 18, so I've still got those, you have your football heroes. It's just so hard to look at him and think of him as a veteran because for me, he was always the kid, the young Murph, like the prodigy. I still look at him as a kid. How about you?
Me too. My best memory of Murph was probably 2013 after we beat Port Adelaide by 1 point in Adelaide. I was there. We actually got to go into the rooms after the game and I got a photo with him. And I'm just like, this is just my childhood dream. And then I was in Perth last year for the first time and we beat Freo. And then I got another photo with him. I've just taken too many photos with him. But no, for me, I don't think, apart from his good looks, I'm not gonna lie, his football ability to me is just something I like to model my game on. I try to anyway. And the way people potshot him actually really upsets me because he you don't see him getting possession after possession. He's not that type of player, I don't think. I think he's more of I see him in and under more often than not, but people just don't see that about him. And his elite kick, people go, oh, he's missed so many targets this year. Who hasn't? If you look at the team on a broader scale, who hasn't? Even Simo missed a few this year. But to me, Murph has probably been the backbone, along with Simo, of that dark period that Carlton had. And people just seem to forget that.
Yeah, I think
best and fairest as well. Like I don't understand why people like to potshot him. It just upsets me.
I don't know when it happened. Like I don't know when we turned. I mean, you look at 2011, he fulfilled his potential. And if you look at, let's be honest, all of the number 1 draft picks we had, Murph, Gibbs, Cruiser, we understand he got very injured and it'll just be one of those what ifs. Gibbs, relatively healthy and he was good. Don't get me wrong, but he didn't quite reach anywhere near the heights that Murph did. So he's, Murph really fulfilled that. Oh, okay, he's our number 1 draft pick, and he's actually one of the best players in the league. Obviously, injuries cut him down, and injuries to him that happened due to him actually attacking the ball and just coming off second best because his body probably wasn't suited for that game style. And I don't know. I feel like at some point, I don't know if it was 2013, 14. I don't know when it was, but it's like. And I won't say it's the majority, but it's just like people have turned, and it is sad because you look at Simo. He's about we're never going to see Simo play for Carlton again. That's it. And I just wonder, we should probably be a little grateful while we have them in the moment. We know he's going to be retiring, Murph. That is, maybe in 12 months, 24 months. Who knows? It's probably in the next couple of years. It's likely, right? Unless something happens and he finds a way to just find 5 years, which I won't complain with.
Lie.
Yeah. So I'm in that mindset now. I think particularly now that we've lost Simo, I would hope that Murph now slides into that. He's now the older head, the Carlton veteran. Who you cherish because you need those elder statesmen at the club. Every club has them.
Oh yeah, and I think it turned when Juddy retired. To be honest. So that was like 2016.
Yeah.
Said he retired. So I don't know, but because I thought his form was solid up until like he got constantly injured. So I just hope people just change their tune. Like you have days where Murph's best on ground and everyone's just praising him, and then he does something wrong another game and it's just complete blast. And I'm just like, I'm not going to get involved because I'm going to get angry.
Yeah.
I don't need to get angry.
It's an art form. It is an art form.
It is. It is.
So talk to me about, now this is for men or women. I mean, the women probably more relevant because there's just so many untapped talents in the team that maybe don't get the limelight. Who are some of the heroes, so to speak, from both the men's and the women's side who are probably up and coming? So I'll take away Sam Walsh and Wiedering because I feel like they're established. But who are some of the unsung heroes from both sides that you think are going to come up over the next 2 years?
Willow for me. The last couple of games when he started to play a bit further up the ground, like that last game against Brisbane, he just kept popping up. And we've been waiting so long for Willow to come into his own because of his back injury. So I feel like 2021, you might see a completely different Willow again. One to watch for me, Willow. And I hope we get to see Brody Kemp next year. That'd be something as well. And even Stocker, we haven't seen much of him either. So I'm hoping for the men's perspective, those three give us a little bit next year. Hopefully, fingers crossed, God willing. For the girls, you can't go past your well-known girls like your Vessios and your Taylor Harrises, but I'm loving Georgia G. Georgia G, her season this year was fantastic. And I reckon it's only going to get better as she gets a little bit bigger and a little bit stronger. She's only small. She kind of reminds me of Matthew Lappin being really little. So watch out for Georgia G in 2021. She's going to be another one to watch. And any of the new draftees, even Lucy McAvoy, she's going to have another big year as well. So it's lots of untapped there.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Georgia G. She seemed to just, I think what you just said about Willow rings true with Georgia G. She just seemed to just be there when wherever the ball was going, she just seemed to get it all the time. It's like, and you can't teach that. That's a footy brain. That you cannot teach that.
No, you can't teach speed. And she's got it in spades. She has, like, the way she'd run down and tackle is just better than some of the men, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
If I'm brutally honest. No, she's going to be another one definitely to watch. And I reckon if we had have continued on with the women's season, she would have gone well into the finals and even gone close to being best on ground if we had won the final.
Yeah.
For sure.
How far away, I mean, I think we've probably just answered it. How far away do you think the women are from winning the flag?
2021.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it, 2021, because we were that close. We would have knocked off Freo.
Yep.
100%. Like we knocked off Brisbane and North, got knocked off. We would have beaten Freo for sure.
Yeah. What about the men? When do you see happening there? I feel like it's a different club.
Crystal ball. I'm gonna say 2023.
2023. So we've got a couple of years in. I mean, I'm assuming 2021. Like, surely the finals have to be on the agenda, like, strictly.
Oh no, they've proven themselves that our best footy is elite, but we need to work on our worst footy, and it's putrid.
Yeah, the gap is massive.
It is, and people will reflect on this year and look at our bad games. They won't look at our good wins, like our not our Brisbane win, our Bulldogs win. We won by 50 odd points. And to put that into perspective, our worst loss was only 30 points. Whereas in years gone past, you'd be looking at your 60s, your 70s, even your 100s. So there has been improvement there. So I'm willing to give them the leeway of just making finals in 2021. 2022, we need to be front and centre, and then the ultimate glory in 2023. That's the timeline I'm giving them.
Yeah. I not everyone does. Because I understand, anything can happen any year. I'm very big on, in terms of long-term sustained success, you almost have to go through finals disappointment. You almost have to, not you have to, you don't have to do anything, but I just feel like all of these teams who have won flags have had those. I mean, failure is the key to success that no one wants to really acknowledge. Failure is the pillar of success.
That's it. And I've been to many finals in the short space of time that I've had going to the football, and probably the one for me was Walker getting held in the goal square against West Coast in 2011. Was it 2011?
It was 2011. It was
2011. I was sitting at Princess Park on the grass with the screen, and I think I had a few choice words to say that night.
Yeah.
They're probably the worst one for me.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
and the fact that we've gone up and down since then has been a bit disappointing, but that comes with change of coach. I think Teague is the man.
Yep. You think he's the one to stick with? I mean, I feel like we have to. I mean, we can't afford to do 2-3 years with Teague. I understand winning is a big. It's a big component of this. We're in the business of winning. We're in the business of sport. I mean, I think I'm just more hopeful, and I am confident. I'm very confident in Teague and his principles and the way he can communicate with the new generation. I even like the fact that and I'm sure he had done it previously, but I like the fact that he's got a bit of a spray in him as well.
That was the best thing I've ever seen.
I was dead to the world lying on that couch when we were down however much we were against the Lions in round 18, I think. Round 18. And literally that piece of footage of him absolutely laying into them brought me back to life.
And the thing is, how many times has he done that we just haven't seen?
Yeah. Yeah.
The fact that it was actually televised and we actually heard the spray was probably the highlight for me. That was just pure gold. Like, you need to get stuck into them because they were playing absolutely the worst football I've seen them. Like, and if you're playing for Simo, play for Simo. Like, we said it all week. We said it the week before. Like, if you don't want to turn up, don't turn up. And in that second half, they actually turned up, which was fantastic. So it worked.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you one more question before I let you go.
Oh.
I'm going to put the list management hat onto you, and I'm going to give you an unlimited treasure chest of money, and there's no salary cap. Who is a player from another club you would bring into the men's team and help us surge up the top?
Zach Williams. I'm waiting for it. A lot of people have been saying Ahmed Saad the last couple of days, and I'm not too sure how I feel about Sardi. He's a good footballer, don't get me wrong, but I don't see a position for him in our backline when you have the likes of Marchbank to come back and the fact that Willow is doing so well off the half back line. I'd rather a Williams who's a bigger body that can help Cripper in the middle because Lord knows he needs it because you can't just keep relying on Cripper. So, Zach Williams, chuck whatever you can at him within reason. Who else? I can't think of anybody else off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But I feel Zach Williams will be one that'll walk in, and I know that he will actually bring a different dynamic into that midfield because he can play both midfield and defence, and a bit like Jack Martin in the way that he moves the ball. Like, I love. He's very elite. I watched the highlights package of him, and I'm like, I want him. I like this kid.
I think you're right. I think sorry, go ahead.
I think it's because he's in his mid-20s as well. He's at his peak. And if we're going to be any tilt for a grand final, you'd want to get someone like that in now and go for it. Just chuck whatever at him.
I mean, the reality is you usually, with any sport, you need at least 12 months to just climatize to the club, to the values, to the people, to build the relationships. I think you're right. If we're looking at a 2023 flag, we would hope Zach Williams has got a couple of years under his belt. I think also he's versatile, and we seem to have that within what we're trying to do with these players. A lot of these guys who maybe were drafted as midfielders are now playing as mid-forwards or vice versa. So I think he suits that as well, that we can make changes mid-game if need be. And injuries happen every year. We seem to cop the injury bug most years. I'm sure every club feels the same about their own injury curse, but we seem to just get our better players injured every year. So, so It's I hope you're right. I do. I hope you're right, and I hope we do see him. What number would you give him?
Ooh. I wouldn't touch 6 for at least 2 years.
Okay.
Well, it depends on who else departs the club.
Yeah.
To be fair,
Yeah, that's true.
I'd want to give him a higher number, but it all depends. Like, I don't know how we're going to go if we're going to keep Lockie O'Brien. If Lockie O'Brien doesn't stay, I'd like to give him number 4.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm trying to think because we got 1 to 5. Yeah, no, or maybe even 8 if Cruiser wants to hand him the jumper. Unless I want to retire it, I don't know.
Yeah.
But if number 8's going to go to anybody, I reckon he might give it to Tommy DeConning.
Yeah, I like that. And then Zach Williams can just slide into the number 12.
that could work. I'll run with that one. That sounds good.
Yeah. Love it. Well, Shannon, it has been an honour. I really appreciate your time. I know
no worries.
A lot of us have a lot of time, but you don't, because you have a 3-month-old blue bagger running around and taking all your attention. So thank you so much
At
for
the moment, yes.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it all, and I'll see you round 1.
Yes, you're definitely coming, and we're definitely getting you on the ground. So we'll see you round 1.
Awesome. Go the Blues, hey?
Go Blues.